Late April usually brings the expectation of blooming flowers and a mild thaw, but millions of Americans are staring down a completely different reality. The National Weather Service is firing off fresh alerts, winter storm warnings, and hazardous weather outlooks, right when we should be packing away our winter coats. The country is essentially split down the middle. In one half, communities are buried under heavy snow, dealing with a sudden freezing disruption. In the other, people are actively bracing for violent tempests, which brings up a bizarre mechanical question. How is the exact same weather system dragging the United States into two completely different seasons at the exact same time? The first half of this split starts high up in the mountainous terrain of Colorado. Around the Pueblo area, the forecast is entirely winter. Freezing drizzle, plummeting temperatures, and accumulating snow are creating a highly dangerous Monday morning commute. The heaviest accumulation is expected to fall through Tuesday evening, April 28th. Isolated areas and high-elevation resorts like Arapahoe Basin, Loveland, and Copper Mountain are preparing for up to 2 feet of fresh snow. The snow line is expected to hover between 8 and 10,000 feet, but those levels will push even lower when the heavier bursts roll through. For the mountainous west, this system operates as an artificial extension of deep winter, freezing regional activity in its tracks past its expected expiration date. But if we move away from the mountains and look toward the central plains, the environment completely inverts. Weather experts at AccuWeather are tracking a massive stretch of unseasonable, severe thunderstorms threatening the middle of the country. Hidden inside those storms are highly destructive threats. We're talking large hail, wind gusts exceeding 55 miles per hour, and the very real risk of tornadoes. By Tuesday, that danger zone pushes east. The threat stretches all the way from Texas straight up through the Ohio Valley and eventually reaches the Great Lakes. While the west is paralyzed by ice, the east is staring down the most destructive, volatile elements of an early spring. This animated map reveals the underlying mechanics of the divide. We have a massive, freezing body of air stalled over the Rockies and a huge, warm air mass pushing up from the south. When that stubborn, freezing air crashes directly into the warm, moist southern air, they don't mix smoothly. They generate a violent boundary line straight across the central United States. Looking at the cross-section, the high elevation of the Rockies physically traps the cold air. Any moisture carried in is forced upward, where it freezes and falls as those massive snow totals out west. But over the flat central plains, that exact same collision boundary creates severe rotational instability in the atmosphere. That wind shear is what spawns the tornadoes. This is an active atmospheric tug-of-war, with neither season willing to surrender the country. All of this atmospheric moisture creates immediate hazards on the ground. In the West, that translates to treacherous, snow-packed travel conditions. But for the Midwest and the East, this diagram illustrates a compounding danger. Drought-strained earth hitting a deluge. The dry, hardened ground repels the sudden rainfall, causing water to pool rapidly on the surface instead of absorbing it. That fast runoff creates a severe flash flooding risk. In minutes, local infrastructure becomes overwhelmed, turning routine drives into deadly situations. Surviving a weather event of this scale means looking past the initial heavy rain or snow and preparing for the long-lasting secondary hazards left in its wake. Spring is often thought of as a gentle thaw, an off-ramp from the harshness of winter. The physical reality is far more chaotic. A distance of just a few hundred miles is currently the difference between digging your car out of a blizzard and taking cover from a tornado. That requires a hyper-local awareness. Over the coming days, actively monitoring your local emergency alerts is a necessity. Nature doesn't care what month is printed on the calendar. The transition between seasons is a volatile battleground, one that demands preparation and a healthy amount of respect.